Hello, Year 10. I thought I'd make a quick video to show everybody what we did yesterday. So here is an essay scaffold and demonstration how to use it. We've got, for our introduction, I think it's really important we'll make sure we structure it correctly. So if we look at the highlight in purple here, we have the text and context first. So Shakespeare's political tragedy Macbeth was constructed to support King James' proposed unification of Scotland and England during the Jacobean period. So you need to state that at the start, something about the text and the context. Then you need to address the question. We know the question is about propaganda. So how is Macbeth like propaganda? So through positioning the audience to embrace his leadership, and to a large extent Macbeth can be seen as propaganda, Macbeth explores the religious and political tension by affirming King James I as a rightful king through divine right and natural order. Then we have two key ideas that we are planning to discuss, and that is Macbeth's hamartia of unchecked ambition denies the order of the great chain of being, causing him to descend into paranoia and madness. Now, if you don't remember what's the great chain of being, we actually discussed it yesterday, and it's also in our lesson notes. Furthermore, the threat of witches and supernatural forces features significantly in the play as a Jacobean belief to highlight their supposed evil influence on those who seek to challenge King James I, divine right as king. So the reason that Macbeth is propaganda is because, number one, of Macbeth's hamartia mirrors what happened with the gunpowder plot, someone trying to overthrow the king. It was a group of conspirators. And also, we have the idea of the witches, which really is an evil force that would influence anybody to commit really bad things, such as killing the king, which is regicide. We discussed that word yesterday as well. Okay, so here in your scaffold, you have body paragraph 1. We have one idea that we can add. In this body paragraph 1, I've added the idea of the Reformation. So the instability of the Reformation culminated in the gunpowder plot is reflected in the hamartia of the tragic hero in the tragedy. So Macbeth actually reflects what was happening at the time, which shows that Shakespeare is using the play as a propaganda piece to maintain King James on the throne, affirming he is the rightful king through divine right. So James believed that he was a rightful king put there by God. Okay, so no one should be challenging that. That's what Shakespeare is saying, and that's what James believed in. Okay, so I have one example from my collaborative table. As you know, we have this long table here that I printed yesterday, and it's all available online. We have Act 1, Scene 3, the witch's prophecy. Haven't spoken about that yet, but then we have Act 1, Scene 7, Macbeth's soliloquy. So that's the first example that I've chosen to add. I could have added the other one. We'll add it later. So we have in Macbeth's soliloquy, it parallels the internal conflict of the gunpowder plot conspirators, torn between their ambition and the moral consequences of their action. So here I have embedded one quote that is from the actual table. So if I go back to the table, we have 1, 2, 3 different quotes, but I've added first quote. Okay, so here it says parallels. The quote is there. I've added a technique called high modality. Could have added a different technique, but that links nicely to the idea that Macbeth is not eager to kill the king, but eventually he succumbs to that. So if it were done, then it's done. Then if it were done quickly. So he's saying basically, I want it to happen quickly. So that is high modality. Moving on to example number 2. This is the example we added yesterday. Furthermore, the murder of King Duncan reflects the ultimate act of treason. Now, where am I getting that from? I'm getting that from my table. So here, as you can see, I have an idea. The murder of King Duncan reflects. So I basically just copied and pasted it. Obviously, in your essay, you're going to use your own words. But then you need to move on to a different idea, a different act, a different scene. So here I've said that ultimate act of treason resonating with the fear and tension following the gunpowder plot. The act disrupts both the political and moral order akin to the instability that followed the Reformation, which is what is the Reformation? It's a Protestant change of religion. I've just added that as a commentary there. What is the technique I'm going to be talking about? I'm going to be talking about alliteration. And here we have, in Act 2, Scene 2, Macbeth state, "As they had seen me with these hangman's hands, but wherefore could I not pronounce Amen?" The alliteration emphasizes the king's murder, which stopped him from praying, showing his guilt and condemnation. Obviously, he cannot pray. He used to be religious, but he's not religious anymore. He has chosen to break that, tradition and go against the king. All right, and here it says linking sentence back to point. So instead of moving on to the next example, which we could, we can add a linking sentence. So what are we going to say? I need to link back to the point. So the religious, thus I could say actually to link, thus the religious and political tension of the gunpowder plot is clearly reflected in the notion of the Hamartia, or you can even explain what the Hamartia means. Macbeth, moral flaw of ambition, and then what else can I say? Again, linking back to the question, which is used as propaganda to assert King James I holds on the throne. So I'm linking back to the first idea, which was my point. Okay. Moving on to, I'm gonna just add one more example. So if I go back to my table, I don't know if you've noticed that, but we have two chunks here. We have ideas for paragraph 1 and ideas for paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 is more about witchcraft. Paragraph 1 is more about the Hamartia and reassertion of the great chain of being. So I'm going to go back to Act 1, Scene 3. Maybe I should have added that first because that happens first in the text. But I'm going to add it now. Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm going to copy and paste this and see if I can add it as my example. So the witch's prophecy reflects the political instability of the era where the Reformation had caused significant religious and political upheaval. The gunpowder plot, a direct result of this stability, echoes the themes of betrayal and the subversion of the natural order present in the prophecy. Okay, that's a lot. I probably summarize it a bit better, but I don't have time in this video. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy and paste my quote and find a technique in it. So, what act is this? In Act 1, Scene 3, the witches say, and I'm going to embed my quote. Okay? All hail Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter. I'm going to make it a bit larger. Okay. So I'm going to now, I'm going to add exclamation mark. So that is my technique, okay? The exclamation, okay? The exclamatory sentence, and then I need to analyze it and link it back to what I'm saying, okay? strongly conveys that Macbeth will become king according to the witch's prophecy. Okay? This leads to fueling his hamartia, which will ultimately cause his demise. And why am I saying that? Because obviously I need to link back to my idea. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. It's only 10 minutes. For my body paragraph 2, I can continue going back to my collaborative table, and because it's body paragraph 2, I'm going to go by what's written on this side of the table, I'm going to say. We got something there, as you can see, also in Act 2, Scene 2. And the last scene that we've done together, which is Act 3, Scene 4. We got more information. But today, for the purpose of today, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful to remind you of how to use the collaborative table and how to use our essay structure scaffold. I hope that helps. Obviously, we need to write our link sentence there. You can do it in your own time. Have a great day and have a great holiday, guys. See you later. Bye.